generation, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece, that mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't ratted. We break you down like a pound. I got it, don't pound to surround me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bumpy. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like black, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, what? And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. You don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I said you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want.
Quarterbacks running wild. Hey, it's the coach. This is week 2 of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we might have the 2 most dynamic young running QBs in the league today. This should be a good one. Rookie Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals taking on second-year man Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll see you again at halftime. But now, time to send it up to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's the scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with the Arizona Cardinals. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. This one taken just inside the 10. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. So Lamar Jackson, in his second season, the Heisman Trophy winner of 2016, leading the Ravens onto the field. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Escapes the sack. And an alley to run. And he spins past him and into space. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Partner, it's often the man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Roberts has it. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Seth Roberts, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his second season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Cardinals now under first-year head coach Cliff Kingsbury. As we get a peek at Brett Hundley, the former UCLA Bruin, he'll be the man under center. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down. And let's look now at the offensive starters for the Cardinals.
We're all looking forward to watching David Johnson bounce back from a rough season in 2018 because we know he has 2,000-yard potential. 1,000 on the ground, 1,000 in the air. And with a new offensive-minded coach in Arizona, look for his numbers to truly increase in 2019.
This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Off the draw, here's Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. So opening drive, 3 straight runs, unable to pick up the first.
I know the fans want to see first downs, but guess what? The coaches have reasons for what they're doing. Sometimes they've scripted it, and some of these runs, while they haven't been successful now, they may be successful later on.
On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. Cyrus Jones back to return for the Ravens. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. Taken in at the 22. And now running right through it. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And the Ravens taking the field. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. Willie Snead all alone. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Ravens are able to show off their quick strike ability. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they score in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt, because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. For Johnson, the numbers for his performance from last week: 16 carries, 65 yards.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 15 yards that time, and the Cardinals move the chains. Well, that's a familiar connection right there. Christian Kirk was in the same class as Kyler Murray at Texas A&M. They played together as freshmen before Murray transferred. Kirk, though, he stayed in College Station, had a great 3-year career before being drafted 47th overall in 2018. Was having a solid rookie campaign last year, but then broke his foot in Week 13 and was shut down the rest of the way. The first down carry here for Johnson. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
And that's a ranking that feels good, right? To be number 1 and be the top of your profession. But here's the problem. It's only week 1.
1 week, yeah.
Can they do it 15 more times? If so, then we really got something to talk about.
That's the challenge. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Just like that.
Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Throwing, Hundley. And able able to find Kirk complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 34-yard line. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. That's going to be caught by Kirk. A gain of 6 there on first.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Christian Kirk, the man he was looking for, and it's 3rd and 4.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
He'll drop to throw. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. David Johnson. His first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Matthew McCrane on for the PAT. And that one makes it 14-7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Steps away to his left. He'll try and run it. The quick feet by Jackson. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Everyone in this stadium knows Jackson can do that as well as any QB in the league. They talked about limiting some of his running this year, especially the design runs, but he's still going to scramble when he feels he has green in front of him. He led all quarterbacks last year, 695 yards rushing. And keep in mind, 80% of those came in the 7-game stretch when he was named starter late in the season. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. On 2nd and a couple, Jackson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as the Ravens push further out in front. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Tucker now for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. David Johnson now gears up to help lead this offense back on the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. And he finds Fitzgerald. A Cardinal first down on a gain of 13.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Now a play fake here on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. He's got a man complete. It's Clay. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. Now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Chase Edmonds, the man he was looking for. Third down here. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw. And the catch made by Johnson. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A very solid gain of 27.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz.
And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Christian Kirk, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. A reminder coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one from Atlanta. Eagles and Falcons, 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Odell Beckham back in New York, back in MetLife Stadium. Browns and Jets, 8:15 Eastern on Monday night. This pass into the arms of Snead. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first. Snead figures to be an important veteran presence for Lamar Jackson. 2 years ago, it was a disappointing 2017 for Snead. That was in New Orleans, but then had a bit of a bounce-back campaign a season ago in his first go-around with Baltimore. 62 catches, 650 yards. Did have surgery in the offseason on his left index finger, but back to full health and ready to go. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with it.
Johnson, it's poke free. Football's held. And the Ravens have got it. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now it's Jackson. And he's got it. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Nick Boyle, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens have used the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it. Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to have a third down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's Andy Lee now as he'll kick it away for the second time. On the return is Jones. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here are the Ravens to take over on offense. They were winners over the Dolphins last week. They are on top right now as well as they come up 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Jackson. Dancing to his left. Now he'll pull it down. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. Pushing his way through. Down the numbers. There he goes. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 56 yards as the Ravens push further out in front.
Brandon, you and I have called a lot of college football in our day, but on Sundays here in the NFL, doesn't it look a lot like what we used to see on Saturdays when we called those games?
Yeah, option plays just like we saw, and that was a long touchdown of the option. What you taught me, though, defensively, you get your eyes in the wrong place on a play like that, you're in trouble.
What's the term that's in vogue in the NFL? Eye violations. The offense wants you to put your eyes in the wrong spot so that they can appear in others.
And oh, he takes off with it. It's a fake. And a fake attempt here not going to work. Got a little yardage, but not enough to get to the goal line. They've got this big lead. They said, forget 1, we want 2. Instead, they got 0.
Unbelievable that they even attempt it from the 15-yard line. What are they thinking? I do know this. When you fake one in this situation with that type of a lead, especially from the 15-yard line, oh, boy. I tell you what, meeting them again somewhere down the line, they'll remember this. Yeah, they'll think that they were trying to clown them a little bit.
Check 48's the mark. Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning to tear you up.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Open man is Kirk, complete. A gain of 6 there on 1st. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. 2nd and 4. He finds his man Johnson. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. It's dropped by his tight end, Charles Clay. And now it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. They'll set up a throw. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 15 yards that time, and the Cardinals move the chains.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Hundley now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it with Johnson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Hundley. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game.
There he goes, right side. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Andy Isabella with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Cardinals get a bit closer.
All you hear from coaches and personnel directors in the NFL, how difficult it is for a rookie receiver to have an impact on the game. So much to learn, so much offense to absorb. Looks like he's picking it up pretty well.
I would say so. And how about that for your first career NFL touchdown?
I don't know that he envisioned it quite that way, but if he was smart, he probably dreamed about it a little bit.
Extra point by McCrane, up and good. And that will shave one more off this lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Now there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram. He goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield. Although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Down the numbers. There he goes. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 61 yards as the Ravens push further out in front. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they end up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken very short. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So out now come the Cardinals. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon. He's in a groove right now. 2 sacks last week. Also got AFC Defensive Player of the Week for that effort. Another sack right there.
He just innately understands how to get to the quarterback. He's going to be blocked differently each and every time. He knows how to counter, how to adjust, and how to get home, as they like to say.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Another incomplete pass there. What do you take from this game offensively?
Well, you know it's tough to really analyze for them because it is a team game, right? And let's be honest, though. The defense did them no favors in this one at all. Offense actually moved the ball. So, bottom line, film session, defense is going to be a real tough one for them. Offense, they'll get a little bit of praise.
Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Able to find Isabella. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 18 on that one, and the Cardinals have a 1st down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You stop to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
The throw over the middle taken in. A gain of 6 there on 1st. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
To throw again on 2nd down. Hundley. Johnson's got it complete. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Throwing, Hundley. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they got a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Now Hundley. Looking for Fitzgerald, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a 4th quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Tucker with the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They'll look to throw here. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Complete. It's Johnson. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. So 1st and 2nd down went the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. They'll set up to throw. And that will be incomplete. The veteran Jimmy Smith there on the coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And now here come the Ravens.
And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Baltimore, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit